I have opened a new Blender scene here and I have just imported a photogrammetry so we can look at how lighting works in Blender. So let's just start now. What we are going to do, you can import any geometry that you want in order to follow along. Okay, you can go to Sketchfab and download any photogrammetry asset, or you can use the Blender kit as well. In order to look at the lighting, real world lighting, we need to use the Cycles render engine because Eevee render engine is a real time render engine and I don't prefer it when you are going for a photorealistic result. So let's just go to our render settings here and we are going to change from Eevee to Cycles. And now I am having a good GPU, so I am going to make sure that I am going to compute on GPU itself. If you are not having a good GPU, you can use the CPU as well, but I am going to use the GPU here and I am using a max samples of 32. By default, it would be around 4096, but let's just use the 32 max samples here. And now let's just start here. I'm going to press the Z key, Z for zebra, and I'm going to make sure that it is on rendered here. And as soon as I do it, we can see something like this here. Okay, now why we are seeing this dark atmosphere? Because we are having a color in the background. So if you go to your world settings here, you will find here that we are having this background and this background is having this color, and that's the reason why we are getting this dark shade here. Okay, if I change the color here to, let's say, light color, now you can see we are getting this result here because we have added a white HDRI in the background basically. So if I change my color here, you can see we are changing the atmosphere as well. So we can combine here the techniques of the sun and this background as well to create a really good atmosphere. But now we have the sun and the sky built in, which is really good, which we are going to see in a moment. And if I take this to, let's say, black, now you can see there is no light in the scene here. Okay. So this is how the color works. So let's just do somewhere around this, and here you will find a strength here. So if I take my strength to, let's say, 0.2, you can see here we are getting a dark result here. Okay. And yeah, one more thing guys, I am using the Ajax method. So if you scroll downward here and if you go to color management, you can see I am using the color management of AGX. Okay, you can do the same here or you can use the standard as well. So this is the difference between standard and AGX. I like the AGX better because it gives some really good results in the highlights, which I basically prefer. So let's just go again to our world settings, and now these two settings are done. Now I'm going to show you one more thing, that is our sky here. Okay, just click on this color here and just load the sky texture here. And as soon as you do it, you can see we are getting this result here. So if I go out of my camera mode right now, you can see we are having this sky here. See, okay. And we are getting some light coming from here. So we can change it as well. Okay, so let me show you how this works. Now the first thing is the sun and sky model that they are using here. Okay, right now Nishita is a really good model, but if you want, you can switch to Hosek and Weekly also, or you can switch to Pritham as well. Okay, and you can see the different result that you can get here. Then you need to play with the turbidity, strength and all that stuff. But I prefer Nishita after the Blender 4 update because this is a really good point and you don't need HDRI anymore to light your scene. Now the first thing is the sun size. So let's just look at it in a moment. But right now you can see my strength is set to 0.2. By default, it would be set to 1 here. Okay, so you can see here as well. So if I zoom out here, you can see our sun is somewhere over here. Okay, so if I take my sun elevation to downwards, let's say, you can see there is our sun. Okay, you can see our sun is here and we are getting a tuning result. Now, if you want to make the size of the sun bigger, you can do it as well. Okay, and let me press the home button as well. Okay, so now you can see we are getting here somewhat like this, but we are not getting any light here. So what we can do, we can rotate the sun as well. Okay, so let's just go out of our camera mode. Now, if you want to rotate the sun, you can go to sun rotation and you can rotate the sun here. And now you can see we are getting this light here. See. Okay, and let's just go to our camera again by pressing the 0 key. Okay, and now you can see we are getting this light here. Okay, Sun elevation basically means how high you want your sun to be. So if I go for a day scene, I can do something like this here, and you can see we are getting the shadows here as well. But right now, if you see here, our shadows are really sharp here. I don't want it. Want a soft shadow, so we can do it as well. So let's just play with the rotation a bit. Okay, let's just get here somewhat shadows. Okay, now you can see we are getting this long shadows here, but I want them to be soft. So that is controlled by sun size. So how much big your sun will be, that will decide your shadows softness. So if I take it to 5 and press enter, you can see our shadows are really soft here. So if I rotate my sun elevation again to the opposite direction here, okay, you can see the result here as well. You can see the shadows are really soft. So you can adjust it with the sun rotation as well. Altitude means how much high your sun will be, okay, in compared to your scene. So you can play with that as well, but I don't play with it that much. I just leave it to a default value of 0 and I play with all the settings. So if I go to my again perspective view, now you can see we are having our sun somewhere over here. Okay, now if you find that, okay, I want to clear the air here, I don't want some air, or I want a clear atmosphere. So now you can see we are getting our sun here as well. And you can see our sun is somewhere here. If I just decrease my air here, okay, so you can do it as well. So let's just increase the air here, and now you can see we are getting something like this result. So if I press the 0 key, you can see the result here as well, but let's just keep it to 1 here. Okay, and the last one is the strength. I basically keep it around 0.4 to zero point 0.5, okay, to get some realistic results. So now you can see the lighting here, and I do a sun elevation. Now I take it upward, so we get some really um afternoon kind of see. Okay, and now you can say it's looking realistic. So just with this value, I sometimes go up to 0.2 as well in the intensity tab of the strength of the sun, and now you can see the result. Okay, you can play with the intensity as well, but I don't prefer it, because what will happen if I take it to 0, you can see we are not getting that shadows. We are getting the shadows, but we are not getting that light sharps and all that stuff. So if I take it to 2, now you can see the prominent result here. Okay, so I just take this to 1 and I play with the strength here. So I take from 0.2 to maybe 0.4 depending on the scene that I want here. Okay, now let's just rotate it here. Okay, something like this. So we get some really good shadows, and now you can see the result. This is looking really good. Now you can use the HDRI as well. So if you have any HDRI downloaded from the HDRI Haven or any other website, you can load it as well. Just click on this skies texture and just click on this environment texture here. Okay, as soon as you do it, you will see this pink shade, because right now we are not having any HDRI here. If I click on open here, you need to basically load the HDRI here. Start the HDRIs you can see here. So let's just take this autumn field. So let's just click on this HDR and let's just open the image. And now you can see we have this autumn field HDRI loaded here. Okay, now you can play with the strength as well. So let's just take this to 1 here. And now you can see the result as well. But in order to rotate the HDRI, you need to go to node editor. Okay, so let me show you that as well. So let's just go out of this view. You can see we have this HDRI here, but you cannot rotate it from here. So let's just click here and let's just go to shader editor. Okay, and now you can see we are into shader editor here. From object, let's just switch to world here. And now you can see we have this HDRI here. Okay, you can see the HDRI here as well. Okay, so if I take it here somewhere, so you can see our HDRI is here. So let's just make this bigger a bit so you can see here. But right now you can see we are not seeing any transform here. So there is a plugin that you need to enable in order to use the shortcuts here in the node editor, which will be helpful in the future as well. So let's just go to edit. Let's just go to preferences, and in plugins here, okay, in add-ons, you will find what we call a node wrangler. Okay, so just make sure that this is enabled here. So you can see here is our node wrangler. Just enable the node wrangler here. Okay, sorry for my English. So let's just enable this here. Now let's just close, and now press Ctrl plus T. So it will open the transforms and UVs here. So now you can see we have this texture coordinates and we have this rotation here. Now if I increase the rotation of the z-axis here, you can see our HDRI basically is getting rotated here. See. So you can see the result here as well. Okay, so if I press the 0 key, and now you can see the result if I rotate my HDRI here. Okay, so this is how you can load the HDRI as well. So I have shown you two methods, basically three methods. One is your background method, second one is your sky and sun texture, and third one is your HDRI. So you can use any of the method to get some realistic results for your exterior or maybe your some product visualization scenes.